Desperately trying to suck down enough coffee to get going in the morning. And Taters decided to cheer me up by telling me there is a whole lot of gain today.
Oh yeah, we had to go up some mountains.
It was colder last night with the wind picking up. We actually had to layer up more than we have for at least since Glacier. But the days have been much nicer. The advantage of the bob is once you pop out on the other side and you have actual trail again, it starts feeling really, really like pleasant and just flows. And here, Tater's morning reading material is apparently the back of some beans. The same beans we've been eating for weeks. Find anything interesting? Did you call the number for information?
I was putting away the trash.
For like 2 minutes. So today is day 14 since we started, and at least so far I have to say this is the most successful start of the 3 long trails I've done. With the PCT I was having gear struggles and I ended up getting Gerardia when I got to Julian pretty early on, and that completely messed up the initial kind of rush. And then ECT, I was having all sorts of foot issues down in the Keys with the, endless road walk and everything. It does help here that I prepped by doing, almost 700 miles of through hiking before getting on trail. But at this point, name of the game is just trying to sustain a pace and not end up with any, overuse injuries, etc., etc. I am having the usual tightness in my Achilles of my left foot. I'm trying to stretch it, do what I can. It's just been a feature as I do this stuff though. Gut hook comments out here are significantly more sparse as expected because not as many people do the CDT. So we're regularly having to rely on things that were written a couple of years ago. I've seen as far back as I think there was some like 2016, which had to have been the initial test. And for whatever reason up here, there's just not as many campsites as you would kind of expect. Burn area, that's par for the course because it burns over and then you're, under threat from all the trees, tends to expose rocks, stuff like that. And then a bit earlier, everything was just covered with dense vegetation, so we literally couldn't find any place. There were hints that there were campsites in the area, but this one in particular had obviously been used, but was not in the gut hook comments. Well, we did manage to find our first tick at that last break. Stream crossings have been a little deeper today. Still doable. So we've had a nice section that's mostly stayed down low and had clear trail. Now we're going to be climbing up a couple of 1,000 feet, and it looks like joining the divide proper. Good news is views, cell reception. Bad news is it's harder hiking, and we're going to end up with 10 to 12 mile water carries for the next bit, which isn't bad, but we've been spoiled here. We actually got cell again. That's more like it. So the trail's been up on the ridge for a while and will be tomorrow and possibly the next day. So our one place to camp is this little pond down here. Hopefully the mosquitoes aren't going to be too bad.
Unfortunately, tonight we could not get up the tent using the strategy we used the last couple nights of just kind of resting the end piece into the hole in the centerpiece until it was under tension. And so we have taken the more drastic move of disassembling the tent poles, and we're going to try and swap some pieces around in the hope that that fixes the problem. We are very happy that we got a temporary fix that works, should hold for a couple of more nights. The key was to realize that this joint here is under a lot more stress than the other two. And so by rotating this piece, you can see this one is still not in quite as well, but since it's under less stress, it's still holding. This is the one camp area that's in the trees and by water for a long ways. You're up high on top of an exposed ridge for several miles in either direction. So here we are, home sweet home for the night.